Negotiators for the U.S. and China are facing off in Shanghai. The two countries are struggling to reach a deal and end a year-long trade war that has rattled global markets. President Trump spoke this morning saying China is dying to make a deal.
Companies are leaving China by the thousands, and their prices are coming down. And I will tell you this, China is dying to make a deal with me. But whether or not I'll do it, it's up to me. It's not up to them.
The trade war is really hitting U.S. farmers hard. They are still waiting for relief from President Trump's tariffs. Joining us now to discuss this, Yahoo Finance's Adriana Belmonte. And on the phone is Missouri Farm Bureau President and soybean farmer Blake Hurst. Blake, it's always good to have you here. And I know that farmers have, it's almost a double-edged sword between the rain that, made a delay in planting crops and the tariffs. From the ground right now, what you're seeing with your peers, where do we stand? It hasn't gotten any better, has it?
Well, no, we're seeing some good weather here in the Midwest, but terribly late planting, which has already harmed yields. There's nothing we can do about that. And I have to tell you, we've been through so many ups and downs on these trade talks, it's pretty hard to pay much attention to anything anybody says right now.
Well, Blake, so what are you seeing then on the ground? I mean, the president is saying China's not buying this stuff. China says, actually, we have been buying more agricultural products from the U.S. What are you seeing in your own business and the members of the Missouri Farm Bureau?
Yeah, soybean sales to China are down, a fraction of what they had been before. At various times through this long, drawn-out process, they made promises to buy soybeans. They have been purchasing some. But considerably less than they have in the past, and actually less than they said they'll purchase. At least so far, we haven't seen all of those promises come to fruition yet.
Hi, Blake. Adriana Belmonte here. So just a few days ago, President Trump and the White House announced that there's going to be an additional $16 billion in aid. Now, other farmers that I've spoken to in the past, they, while they've expressed how grateful they are, they raise the point, how long can we sustain this? Do you find this issue as well? This can only go on for so long?
Oh, yeah. I think that people are tired. They're weary. We've been, basically up and down, jerked back and forth with the rhetoric coming from both sides. And all along we've lost markets, and markets we may or may not be able to replace. So farmers are tired. And obviously the trade money helps, but nobody likes to be the butt of jokes and cartoons in the news media about being on the government handouts. It's not much fun.
So another farmer that I spoke to yesterday, he specifically said that Trump took away all of our markets. And you kind of raised that point as well, that the markets have been taken away. So is there a sense of a little bit of animosity towards the administration for the fact that a resolution hasn't been solved yet?
I think farmers, by and large, when I talk to them, make a distinction between China and our various and sundry other aid disputes. I mean, people have a great deal of sympathy for taking a hard line, a great deal of support for taking a hard line toward China. We see no sense at all in picking fights with Mexico, picking fights with Canada. The biggest mistake he's been made since being elected was failing to sign the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which was aimed at China, and yet we walked away from it. So our competitors are seeing improved trade situation with Japan. And a lot of the Far Eastern countries that we are at a disadvantage with. So we do draw a distinction, I think most farmers do, between China and the rest of the world, and very, very upset about trade relations with everybody but China.
Blake, break it down for me, if you would. What do your fields look like right now? I mean, where are the soybeans that you've been producing? Are you storing them somewhere? What's the shelf life of these products? Are you letting fields go fallow? I mean, what does the landscape look like right now?
Okay, so we had tremendous floods all spring long, excessive rain, record amounts of rain. Estimates are all over the map. We really don't know how many acres were just not planted because they're either too muddy to plant or literally still underwater. Many acres in my home county, northwest Missouri, are still underwater, been underwater since March. Best guess, 10, 12, 14 million acres that weren't planted at all. That would be right at 10%, a little under between 5 and 10% of anticipated plantings of the major crops. So that's going to put upward pressure on the markets. Our crops are all late. If you're trading futures markets, you're going to want to watch the weather forecast for fall, and early frost would be a disaster with this late product crop. So we'll be paying a lot of attention to forecasts for when the first frost will hit the upper Midwest.
All right. Well, Blake, we're thinking about you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Missouri Farm Bureau
bet.
President and soybean farmer Blake Hurst. Good to have you here.